So one task we have to do in wintertime before carnivorous plants come out of dormancy is to cut the dead pitchers back. Even though they're still green at the base, in late February is typically when we would start. But I have some in a container right now where I need to trim them back, divide them, and get them into new pots. They're in a place that I'm afraid that they're going to end up rotting if I continue to let them stay there, and I don't want to lose them. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in the rest of the video. So if you're really interested in winter care for carnivorous plants, this is the video for you. So I have a lot of this particular Sarracenia. It's a hybrid called Judith Hindle. It's really pretty. It's one of my favorites. It's also one of the easiest ones to grow. I had it in this container right here, and when it was lined, the container was actually really good, but it was also hard to work with, and it dried out really fast. So I decided to try it without the liner, and as you can see below, the pot itself is starting to crack from the moisture, so it's not really worth it for me to keep them in here. And these are ones that I want to divide anyway, because I can either share them or sell them, because they're at mature level right now. You can see over there I've got some done already. I've got 2 more plants to do for today. Again, I would normally do this in later February, but unfortunately circumstances are just at the point where I need to get this done now, because I still have to trim off all these right here. So there's a lot of work ahead for spring, and anything I can do right now to get ahead, I'm all about it. I just pulled this Sarracenia up out of the peat moss mixture that they're in, and this right here is a crown, and a very healthy one. This is where all the new growth is going to happen from, and these are actually really big this year. The last one I pulled out I couldn't divide, so I felt kind of sad that it hadn't grown as much as the others. And these all started out from like 4-inch pots, so that's pretty impressive, especially considering all the hardship they endured this summer with having to have the wrong kind of water and getting a little hot. So I'm really excited to see how these are doing. And I'll start trimming the pitchers off in just a sec. The critical thing to do is trim all the pitchers off, and you want to get them as close to the ground as possible, or close to the crown as possible, not the ground. Sorry about that. Go over here. All right. So you want to be mindful of where the crown is. That's why this is a long process, because you don't want to damage the crown, and you want to get these down as close as possible. What you want is the sun to hit the crowns, and that's why you trim the dead pitchers. And I mean, these aren't even really dead, but they will be dead by June, and they will shade the crowns if you leave them on instead of getting the full sun that they need. I mean, all these pictures you see right here were one season's growth, and again, not even an optimal seasonal growth. So I'm looking for better on the upcoming year. All right, I got all the pictures taken down, and you can really see how that's a really beautiful crown right there, and that one is too. So like with any rhizomatous plant, when you divide them, you want to have root system underneath the crowns of the rhizome in order to plant them and get them going and giving them a healthy start. You can, with minimal root system, start a crown, but the plant isn't as healthy, it doesn't produce as many pitchers, and it might take a couple seasons before they're ready to go. And then you need to look at it if you're going to divide it and see where the natural division point is. I'm doing all my crowns at 3 to 4, just because when I purchase a plant, I like to have a larger plant. So if I'm going to sell, I want to sell bigger plants and have people get a better deal and more results for their buck. As you can see, this is kind of the dividing line between the crowns in here, and that's where I'm going to divide it. I'm just going to pull them apart because this part right here, where the original crown was, has kind of like morphed into other little rhizomes on the sides, and pulling it apart is going to give me about 3 to 4 crowns on each side, and then I'll just pot it up and get it going for next year or for this late summer season. All right, and one plant has become 2. So you can see the root system on this 4 crown pitcher plant. So that's really healthy, really good, considering that we were part of that bomb cyclone in December, and also part of the ice storm that we just had last week. We're a little bit over winter here. These are doing exceptionally well. The roots are healthy and look great, and I'm really excited about these. Just to see how they come back. And then this is my first attempt at dividing. So I've learned a lot from other people on the web and videos that they have, and I'm hoping that I'm doing things right, because these are basically my babies and I want them to grow and thrive. So just got to get this guy in a pot and then finish up for the day. So here are the finished products. I went from 5 mature plants to 10. Would have been more, but I didn't divide one particular one because it just wasn't big enough. That's where they used to be. Last season's pitchers going into the compost pile. And next will be these guys over in these pots, and then these next. Not so much division, but definitely trimming back.